Well, hello. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach. Hi, guys, and welcome to another live feed. It's so fun to see you guys on here today. I am Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and we are ending eating disorders using nothing but your brain. And we're talking about eating disorders like binge eating, bulimia, overeating, food obsession, body hate, all of that, whether you're calling it sugar addiction or emotional eating or stress eating, know that you can absolutely be done with that using nothing but your brain. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. And after freeing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women from all around the world and men from their food crazies. So they're not just dealing with their eating disorder or managing their eating disorder or getting through a day with their eating disorder. It's about not having an eating disorder anymore. It's about having the behavior gone and not even having the desire to go to that behavior. And it's about not having all of that obsession in your mind, because we have people come to us that are like, okay, well, I haven't been bulimic, or I haven't been overeating for quite a while now, or, I've been sticking to this really restrictive, like food plan for so long. And then what happens is that they're still obsessed with food. They're still thinking about it all the time. It's still all the, cycling and planning and, oh, should I do this or should I not do that? Or what should I, eat? And is this the right thing or is this the wrong thing? Or is this going to set me off? Or is this too much? Or is this too little? Like all of that. So it's really about that deep breath, being free from all of that and having the life of a normal eater. And what we're going to talk about today is one of the very biggest obstacles in getting free. And these are the three things that you must know and that people do not understand when they have a fear of weight gain. Because I absolutely get it. I absolutely get it. Like for years and years, I was a binge eater. I was bulimic. I was, food obsessed, body obsessed, just an absolute torture over this. And I was so worried about gaining weight all of the time. Like everything was about trying to lose weight, trying not to gain weight, trying to lose weight faster. Why aren't I able to lose weight? Why don't I have control over this? Why do I keep sabotaging my weight loss efforts? And I really equated that with health. And if you would have told me that I had to gain weight to be free of my eating disorder, I would have said, then I'll find another way to do it. Because that is unacceptable. That is the last thing that I am going to do. It is not okay to gain weight. And I did not see that as freedom for a few different reasons, and we'll go over that. But at the time, when I was in the thick of my eating disorder, that was one of my biggest fears, of gaining weight. And I had a very strong, and still do, but it's definitely different now, a very strong value around health. I was a health coach. I was an example of health. I was training 400 health coaches all over the nation. Like health was so important. Like if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And I refused to eat unhealthy things to be free. That made no sense to me. It made no sense to me, the people that said like, oh, well, you just got to binge on a bunch of cupcakes. You just got to have everything that you want. You just got to go crazy with ice cream. You just got to do that until like you don't want it anymore. Like that makes no sense. And I really thought of those things as poison. Like sugar is poison, processed food is poison. Why would I eat poison and get better? That doesn't make sense. And so here I am, and I'm, still stuck in this. And hi guys, so fun to see you on. Feel free to just say hello. Let us know that you're here. Let us know if this is something that you relate with or something that you've been struggling with, or just say hi and ask questions. It's so amazing to have you guys here, and we have such an amazing community. So hi guys, hi Kelly, so fun to see you. All right guys, so I had a very strong value of health. So I refused to eat unhealthy things to try to be free. That didn't make sense. I refused to gain any weight to try to be free. That didn't make sense because I thought of gaining any weight as very unhealthy. And the weird thing is that although I had this really strong value of I'm a healthy person, I would still eat really unhealthy, right? Like I had an eating disorder. So like I would binge and I would go crazy and I would eat cookie after cookie after cookie after cookie. But only at the very end of my binge. I had such a strong value of health that I would start my binge with just eating tons and tons of low carbohydrate vegetables. Like I would eat like 2 or 3 bags of like frozen cauliflower. And I would start that way, just huge masses of food. And then, okay, well, fruit isn't so bad. In fact, I didn't do fruit at all. Like fruit was like so scary for me. Fruit was sugar in my mind, right? So I would go to a place where, okay, I'm going to start with all of the, vegetables, and I'm going to, and I just one more. There's got to be a way to be satisfied. And then I would go to protein, and I would just like eat like an entire rotisserie chicken. And then I would go from healthy thing to healthy thing because I was still so concerned about my health that even when I was binging, I was trying to eat healthy things. And then I would get to the point where I felt like such a failure, like I was in physical pain from how much I had eaten, that it's like, well, if I'm going to destroy today anyway, I might as well go all out, and I might as well just have what I truly want. So then I would get in the cupboard and I would start making still healthier, like ingredient wise, but sweets and cakes and cookies and non-baked things. And there were times where I would just drink molasses right from the jar, right? Because it was like, even then I was trying, like, it's a healthier sugar. And then I would just go crazy over it, just absolutely make myself sick. And so I was, even in the middle of a binge, struggling so much to try to reduce the damage because I was so scared of gaining weight. And Kelly, I love your comment. Kelly's saying, so true. I'd rather have food freedom over physical fantasy anytime. And yes, and Kelly really understands these principles. Congratulations, Kelly. She's one of our free ladies. Just, ending her eating disorder. You guys might have seen her interviews. So fun to see you on here. But we're going to talk about that because it really is like that physical fantasy is what keeps us stuck in it. And I was absolutely there because I saw any sort of weight gain as complete failure. That was giving up, that was unhealthy, that was not okay. And I saw this, well, if I have to choose between gaining weight and being unhealthy or having freedom, well, the other way around, right? So like if freedom means gaining weight and being unhealthy, well, then I can't do it that way. And it would just keep me stuck in the cycle. So these are the things that I absolutely would have wanted to know early on. And we know now, and this is something that we can, help the women that are getting free navigate this very easily now. But I want you guys to really understand that if you have this fear of weight gain, if you have this fear of, okay, well, I'll just keep on eating until I go crazy, and then I'm really going to be in an emergency, right? Then these are 3 things you really need to know. So, oh, hi, so fun to see you on. Okay, so we have another great comment. I feel as if I will eat until I get obese. I completely understand that fear. The fear is, well, if I just let it go a little bit, right? Like I can't let myself have anything. I'm a complete sugar addict. Like if I just had a little bit of something, I would just binge all day long on bread and chocolate, and I would be obese, and I would probably be on, like the, 600-pound life, or, like I can't let this get out of control. So we try to control more and more and more. But here's the thing to look at, you guys. It's the fear of, whoa, if I let myself go, right? You hear that a lot. If I let myself go, then I would just binge until I would, be obese and I would never stop. But what is happening right now? What is happening right now? A lot of times when we have that fear of like, oh, well, if I let myself go, I would just binge like crazy. We're already binging like crazy. We're already doing the very things that are driving our weight up. And so you've got to look at not just the idea or the fear of like, oh, weight gain and obesity and I would never stop, is what is actually happening right now, and is that working? And we're going to talk about 3 things that you must know if this fear is coming up for you. And yeah, so fun to see you guys on. Hi. Okay, so the first thing is you must understand that dieting is a commitment all the way. So if you are dieting to try to lose weight, we are not committing to 50%. You're not committing to on the way down as you lose weight. You're committing to on the way up plus some. That is what dieting is. Dieting isn't weight loss. Dieting is advertised in our culture as weight loss. But dieting is a very slow and painful way to gain 15 to 20 pounds over a year of losing it and gaining it back. That's what it actually is. Any sort of diet or lifestyle change to lose weight, you may lose some weight if you still can. If your body is still letting you do that at this point, you may lose some weight. You're going to cut some calories, you're going to cut out some macros. Your body is going to be forced to use stored energy, so your fat stores as energy, and it will result in halfway there, you losing weight. Remember, that is only part of the story. It's the part that everyone talks about. It's the part that everybody takes pictures about. And then In the other half of it, when you're gaining all the weight back plus some, that's when people hide and they stop taking pictures and they don't talk about it, so then they can just start over on another diet. And your body responds when you do that. When you try to lose weight, your body responds. It drives up your cravings. You start thinking a lot about food. You start gathering recipes and, smells of food and situations around food, and you stop going out to eat, and you start, feeling really deprived. And so because you're feeling this way more and more and your cravings are going up, then you fight harder and harder to try to have more control over that. And your metabolism slows down. That's what your body naturally does when you're restricting your calories, is your metabolism slows down, or restricting your macros. It works either way. So your hunger gets driven up, and then you start eating. You really start eating. When you let yourself go, I'm going to put that in quotes, right? When you do eat in this context, then you go crazy and you can't stop, and you don't know why you can't stop, and you don't know why you eat and eat and eat, and you can physically feel that you're like in pain because you've eaten so much food, and you keep on going and you don't know why you can never be satisfied. It's because of this very thing. It's because you're teaching your body to never be satisfied. You're teaching your body to binge. You're teaching your body to drive up those cravings. And so we binge, and then we get scared about it, and then we restrict even tighter with that diet. And every time that we do that, as we yo-yo, especially when we get down near our goal weight, then this starts going real crazy, because we fall off the wagon and then we try to restrict even more, and we're almost there. And why am I sabotaging myself at this point? And then the binging gets even worse. And now the scale's going the other way and we start freaking out. So we restrict even stronger. And every time that you go into this, your body reacts stronger and stronger. It has biological mechanisms to keep you from doing this and to fight against you. In not a bad way. It's what your body is trying to do to keep you alive. But then we teach it to do this. And so your body doesn't trust you anymore. In fact, this is what you're telling your body. You're telling your body, okay, we're in a famine right now. We don't have nearly enough food. We're having to use up all of our, fat storage. We've lost so much weight. You are a person that starves all the time. You are a person that every Monday all of a sudden doesn't have enough food and enough calories. And it's really hard on your body to do that. And so you send a signal to your body, I am a person that needs to be fatter. I am a person that needs to be bigger. Because there's a famine every single Monday or every single first of the month, then you need to permanently have more weight on your body. And so what your body does is, the harder that you try to restrict, the more that it pushes up your hunger, the more that it pushes up your cravings, the more your binging goes crazier, the scale starts going the other way. And then you're all the way back up to where you started a year ago when you started trying to lose this weight. And then boom, you're 15, 20 pounds heavier than where you started out at. And you are now again at your highest weight ever. Understand that dieting, going on a diet, trying to lose weight, is committing to gaining more weight in a very slow and painful way, instead of just gaining 20 pounds. So let's say that you went from 200 to 210 pounds or 220 pounds. All right, you could do that in a month. But instead, with a diet, you take the whole year and you lose weight and you lose weight and you miss out on all these, situations, and you're obsessing about food the whole time, and you're tracking all of your, calories, and you're putting everything into an app, and you're doing all of these special recipes, and you're packing all your lunches, and you're missing out on all the fun, and you miss out on all of these holidays, and you don't eat when other people are eating, and you're agonizing over it all the time. And then you start binge eating and your relationship with the food gets worse. And then you're having to buy back all of the big clothes over and over and over because you got rid of all of them because you told yourself you'd never go back to that size, and you're having to buy bigger and bigger sizes again. You're going to have a look at yourself in the mirror at the dressing room and just be so horrified and disgusted with yourself, and then you're heavier than ever. That's the way that a diet is to gain 20 pounds. So every time that you commit to a diet, every time that you commit to losing weight, you are committing to gaining weight. The weight loss is just the first step to the weight gain plus some. And this isn't something that is just like, opinion, right? Like, you can look around. There are really good stats on this. 98% 98% of people who try to lose weight on a diet gain it back in 2 years. 98% of people. And then guess what happens to the other 2% after those 2 years? There is a 98% fail rate. There's almost a 100% fail rate on people trying to lose weight and keep it off, right? And Kelly, I love what you're saying there, right? I wish that, that I'd known this before I dieted my way up, right? To 250 pounds. Exactly. Like that's what happens is we're teaching our bodies how to do this. And know that it's not your fault, you guys. We are steeped in this diet culture that tells us these things. We're steeped in this diet culture that sends this message really strong of, oh, well, this will be the way. And this is the thing. And here's a bunch of videos on why this is just an amazing health thing. And you're going to keep the weight off this time. It has never, ever worked in the history of dieting. Never. It is a way to teach your body how to gain weight. So number one, what you must know if you have a fear of weight gain is that dieting is the way to gain weight. Dieting is a commitment to going down if you still can, and then going up plus some. All right. The second thing that you guys need to know is how set point works. Every single time that you are trying to lose weight, you have about a third chance of permanently pushing up your set point weight. Permanently. Like the number that your body fights to be at, your like happy weight, your comfortable weight goes up and up and up. So if you guys haven't seen my video of what will happen to my weight, like it's labeled the best set point video in the world or something like that, because it is, it's awesome. Then this is a much deeper description of that. Or like if you go into that, it's a visual thing so you guys can see how that works. But to understand this, your body has a weight that it fights to be at. Your body has a weight that if you gain a little, it goes back to that. If you lose a little, it goes back to that. So your number on the scale gets higher and higher the more that you diet. You guys will see this. The amount of weight you're able to lose, your low is higher and higher. So you're not able to lose as much. And then when you gain it back plus some, your high is higher and higher. So your set point weight goes up. But when you're dieting and trying to lose weight, it never goes back down. This is something that you're permanently teaching your body to have a different set point weight. And so you can see this in pictures. Like if you've been in this yo-yo cycle, look at pictures of yourself 20 years ago, right? You'll see that you might have been trying to lose weight and be on a diet then, but your goal weight was way lower back then. And the place that you sort of gained and floated up to was lower as well. And every single diet that you've been on, you've taught your body to stay at an elevated weight and then a more elevated weight and then a more elevated weight. And so every single time that you have a fear of gaining weight, and so you go to lose weight on a diet, you are pushing up your set point weight. So, if you see the people who have had sort of similar bodies throughout their life, it's that they haven't dieted, that's just not something that they've done. Most people who are obese have had a long history of dieting. That's how people are, like, there are multiple ways that can happen, but this is like a really sure way to do it. Like if you wanted to gain weight, if you're like, hey, I want to be permanently obese, I want to make sure that I never lose the weight, I want to make sure that I can just be as heavy as possible, I would say the first thing you've got to do is you've got to just commit to restrictive dieting, like just as much as you can, because that will drive up your weight and keep your weight up very, very predictably, because you're teaching your body how to do that. So the second thing that you've got to know is that this pushes up your set point weight every time that you go to a restricted diet. The third thing that you've got to know is that this promotes rapid weight gain every time that you go on a diet. So understand that the ways that we react to a fear of weight gain are the ways to make our fears come true very quickly. And that's why the diet industry is a $66 billion industry, because it has so many return customers that get more desperate every time, because the things that they're trying to fix their problem are the things that are making the problem worse. I'm so scared of gaining weight. I'm so scared of this weight that I've gained. I have to lose the weight. Okay, I'll go on another diet. Oh, this will be a new one. And there's always a new diet coming out. Notice there's always a fad diet. There's always a thing that we're doing right now. And we look back at the diets, 10, 20 years ago, and we're like, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. I can't believe that in the 80s, we were just like binging on sugar because it didn't have any fat like that. And then a bunch of people got diabetes. Oh, good thing that now the trend is to binge on a bunch of fat and to not have any sugar. Think about that for a second, you guys. Just give it a little while and then we'll look back on that and say, oh man, that was totally crazy. And then it'll be the next thing. There's always a new fad diet coming out. It's a huge, huge industry because it sets you up for failure. So the third thing is that trying to lose weight promotes rapid weight gain. So yo-yoing up and down with your weight is extremely damaging to your body and very damaging to your metabolism. So your metabolism gives out. So I'll give you guys an example. We had a woman that came to us. She now has the principles to be free and she's done with her eating disorder, which is awesome. But when she came to us, she was gaining 10 pounds a week. 10 pounds a week. In 8 weeks, that is 80 pounds of weight gain. That is rapid weight gain. And you guys will see as you go along, the more that you diet, the harder it is to lose the weight. And then the quicker it is to come back. That quicker it is to come back is the rapid weight gain happening. Your body gets so desperate because you're teaching it to be scared. You're training your body to gain weight, is that it will go and it will put that back on faster and faster. It will hold on to every calorie and it will really try to keep all of that and put the weight on you very quickly because you're sending it all the right signals or the wrong signals to teach it how to have that rapid weight gain. So here's the key. This woman that I'm talking about, the grad of our program, she was getting 10 pounds a week and she wasn't doing anything differently. Yes, she was binging. Yes, she had an eating disorder. Yes, we were able to end that for her. But she was doing the same binging that she was 6 months ago when and she was binging and she was working out and she was trying to make up for it. And her weight was going up slowly, but there wasn't anything that she changed. It's not like she started binging twice as much when she started gaining 10 pounds a week. That happened because her metabolism was done. This runs out and exhausts your body. So this yo-yoing, this up and down dieting is really unhealthy and hard on your body. It's really hard on your insulin. It's really hard on your adrenals. I mean, we see adrenal fatigue. We see autoimmune disorders popping up, diabetes. This is classic way to give yourself diabetes is to yo-yo diet because you're binging when you're off the wagon, which is spiking your blood sugar and then it's crashing and then you're so hungry and then you binge again. And every time your blood sugar rises, your insulin has to come in to take care of it. And then your insulin just gives out. That's diabetes right there. So the three things that you guys must understand with this fear, which I totally understand, I was there for a long time, but you've got to understand that every time that you go to try to lose weight, it's a commitment to gaining weight because the dieting is sometimes down, but then always back up. 2, you've got to understand it's pressing up your set point. And the third thing that you've got to know is that it promotes rapid weight gain. So deep breath. So what do we do, right? What do we do? Because I understand that value in being healthy. I understand that value of wanting to be able to move and be able to live your life and to be able to not have this eating disorder and to not have to sacrifice your health because of that. I totally understand all that. But the first thing is you've got to get out of the cycle. You've got to get out of the cycle. And I mean, with the hundreds and hundreds of people that are now free from this, understand that there is a very predictable way to get out of this and to be free and done and to let your body heal. But you've got to know how to do that. So the first thing you got to understand is dieting to lose weight and keep it off is a complete fantasy and complete lie. Just understand that. You're not special. You're not different. If it hasn't worked for you in the last 25 diets, it's not going to suddenly work for you. There's no special new diet or pill or food or superfood that is going to change that. No matter how you're trying to do it, you're still teaching your body these same things. And you know what? If you lost the weight and kept it off, if everything was fine, you probably wouldn't be here. So the thing is that you've got to look at what is and what is not working. Our culture is so steeped in this that people keep doing it. People keep doing, that's the definition of insanity, right? Continue to do something that doesn't work over and over, expecting a different result. So understand that this is the same culture that used to advertise smoking as a healthy habit and Coca-Cola as a health drink to give your kids. If we go a little further back, this is the same culture that used to think that bloodletting was the answer to everything. If you're not feeling well, it's because you've got too much blood in your body. You should just, slit somewhere and let some blood pour out. That's going to be the answer. And then, too bad. Sometimes people died from it. Oh, wow. I guess we didn't catch them on time. No, they died because of the very thing that people were doing to try to get better. That's modern day dieting. People die all the time of diabetes. People die all the time of an eating disorder. If you're bulimic, if you're purging, you can stop your heart in 3 different ways every single time that you go back to it. Some people are doing that 14 times a day. If you're doing it once a year, you're still putting your life at risk. So understand that this is our culture, and you've got to step out of that. You have to have a willingness to see things another way, because the more tightly that you grip to this thing that you really, really want to see happen your way, or see happen the way that the diet advertised it, you've got to really take a look at, okay, but what is actually working? So if you have a fear of gaining weight, you must understand the quickest way to make that fear come true is to try to lose weight. And here's what has got to happen. You've got to fix this at its root. It's not about the symptom of seeing all this weight gain and trying to make it go away and trying to lose the weight so something magical happens. You guys have been there. You've probably been at your goal weight at some point in your life. Nothing magical happens. You just gain all the weight back and your eating disorder gets worse. So it's about really fixing it at its root, breaking the cycle, breaking the habits that have kept you going back and back to the very things that have taken your health. If you have a commitment to health, it's about doing the things that end this at its root. Get at the crux of it so that you don't have an eating disorder anymore, so that you can move forward with your health. And when you are free from that habit, when you are free from that cycle, guess what happens, you guys? Your body can heal. It's so cool. It's so amazing. It's so effortless. This surprises pretty much every woman that we free. It's like this big surprise of like, whoa, that's crazy. My body is letting go of all of this excess weight that like I've binged myself up to. And wow, I'm not doing anything to force that to happen. That's never happened before. Surprise. Wow, like all of my health issues are getting better. I'm not stressing out my adrenals anymore. Like I don't have this anxiety all the time. Wait, my anxiety wasn't because there's just something wrong with me and I'm an anxious person. It was just that I was dieting for 42 years and trying to handle my eating disorder. Wow, like my anxiety can melt away. Oh, this is what it feels like to have my energy come back. These are all of the things that get to surprise you when you end the problem at its root. Your body is really good at healing, you guys. It's what it's designed to do. It's what it's been trying to do for a long, long time. And when we get out of the way and we know how to really end this habit that has driven us to the things making it worse, it's not about just like cutting our losses and stopping it from being worse. That's a great first step, and that's really one of the first things that we help people to do. But the other thing is letting your body heal and get better, letting your metabolism come back, letting your body, find its happy, like set point weight, having that restored, and letting it be effortless because you are focused on fixing the internal things that need to happen so that you don't have this desire anymore. And so your natural desires are just the things that really help you to be healthy, not just for the moment, not just until you lose the weight, but a sustainable and effortless health where you can go out and you can have something. You can have a cookie and enjoy it. And you have a wonderful liver that just like takes care of all of those things that you put in your body that maybe aren't like the most nourishing. And then you can just move on. Your body can do one cookie, a couple cookies, fine. If it's a dozen cookies every single night, your body has a harder time with that. So it's really about getting the disordered eating out of the way and seeing these higher and higher levels of freedom. And we know from years of experience and the thousands of women that we've helped, you guys, that this is not a one-size-fits-all thing. We know exactly how to be done with it, but what matters is you. What matters is the cycle that you're in. And we've got to understand that first to be able to get you out of it. And so we need to understand what's truly happening with you as an individual. That's why we do free sessions. We do free breakthrough sessions. Because if this was a one-size-fits-all of like, okay, here's how you do it, I would show you how to do it right now. But we've got to have the foundation of freedom, which is the clarity of what is happening with you right now. What are the missing pieces of what we need to fill in? And then how do we get there? And if you're committed to fixing this problem, and I understand that you can have fear come up, right? A lot of us are as afraid of, ending this problem as we are as keeping this problem. So it's not about it's a totally normal way to feel. It's about a decision. It's about a decision of, this is a priority in my life and I want to be done with it. And if you're committed to fixing this, and if you are somebody that we can help, we'll show you how, or we'll know where to direct you. Either way, you're going to be taken care of because we know exactly what we're doing and we're the best in the world at what we do. So if you want to fix this problem, you can take that first step. That's the most important thing, is you can go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply, and book a free session. And if we're full, which we often get full, just put your name on the waiting list. We'll let you know when there are more openings. But if you see an available spot, like, snag that, show up for yourself, be there for you, because we can't help you unless we really know what's happening with you. And then once we do, then we're going to know exactly where to take you from there. And I want you guys to understand that it's totally normal to worry, like, oh, well, maybe my problem's not big enough, or maybe my problem is too big. Or it's totally normal to feel like, well, what if I'm really doomed? What if I'm like the worst case and I'm just told, like, well, you know what, like, you're untreatable, you're unfixable. That's never happened, you guys. We're going to let you know where to go from there if we're not the ones that can help you. But you're not a hopeless case. You wouldn't be here if you had given up on yourself. The only way that you are not going to end this and not have the help available to you is that if you decide to give up on yourself and you don't show up for yourself, if you don't book the session, if you don't show up for your session, those are the only things. And those are totally up to you. You don't have to save your life. You don't have to show up for yourself, but we will show up for you. And that's what we're here for. And that is exactly what we do. So anyway, just absolutely adore you guys. Love you being part of this community. Pop in any questions that you guys have right now. Becca, I love this question. So, you're saying that binging teaches your body to never recognize being full or to be satisfied. Fascinating. Isn't it though? That's exactly what it is. That's why intuitive eating is such a struggle for any of us who are struggling with an eating disorder, because you don't have hunger and fullness signals. If you're like, I'm going to do what my body is telling me to do right now. Okay, binge. And that doesn't seem right? So yes, those hunger and fullness signals, we teach them to go away because we're in this cycle that's actually teaching our bodies how to not recognize fullness and how to not recognize hunger. And that's why you can be so hungry. I remember the times where I would physically feel the hungriest was when I was physically full. Like, I had eaten a full dinner and then I would just be in a panic, like a ravenous, like, I have to have more. I was like scared of not getting more. And I knew intellectually that I had eaten plenty of food. I had eaten more food than I needed. And then I would just feel so hungry. Like, I could just eat and never stop. And then I would do just that. I would just eat and eat and eat. The only thing that would stop me is I would be physically in pain. And there are times where I would lay on the couch and just beat myself up and be absolutely miserable and just be mad that I couldn't eat more. Like, I had to lay there and wait till I digested some food to binge even more. That made me feel like such a failure, so messed up, so broken. But here's the cool thing, is that you end it at its root, so you don't have an eating disorder anymore, and your body's really good at healing, and then your hunger and fullness signals come back. This is so fun. Like, this is a really fun thing to celebrate with our clients, where they're like, oh my gosh, I had totally forgotten to eat. I was just busy. I was going around. I wasn't even thinking about food. And then I was like, whoa, I feel hungry. And this is what I feel hungry for. And then I ate it. And then I was full. Wow. Mind-blowing. So much fun. That's exactly how it goes. And so, yes, great question, you guys. Just love you guys being on. Thank you for being part of this community. And no, your body is really good at healing, but you've got to really fix this problem first. And then your body can do that effortlessly. You don't have like this big, hard road ahead. Like, everything that we teach is simple and doable and fits in with your actual life. It's got to, or it's not going to be sustainable anyway. But you put in the work and you end your eating disorder, and then what gets to happen from there is all the rest of this is very effortless, right? Like, it's like if you get a scratch on your arm, you don't have to have a 21-day plan to heal this scratch on your arm. Your body's just like, all right, we're going to make a scab, and then we're going to like repair everything, and then the scab is going to come off, and you're like, oh, I wonder when that happened, when I just had like some new arm right there. Awesome. So your body is happy to do that, but you've got to stop the damage and you've got to end the cycle, so that your body can actually have time to do that. And it's very happy to do it. Hunger and fullness signals, having your brain energy back, like all of it. So, just adore you guys. Thank you so much for being on. Okay. Okay. So we have some other great questions. I'll just pop on and answer a couple of these. These are great. Okay. So Julie's saying this resonates with me with what you were saying. So how do I lose weight at this point then? Great question. So Julie, I'm wondering if maybe you came on later to the live feed. I would listen to the beginning of the live feed, and that'll give more context. But just to give you a quick little summary here, you don't lose weight at this point. Like, that can absolutely happen. But as long as you focus on the weight loss while you're still struggling with the food, it's just going to make everything worse. Your weight is going to go up and your food crazies are going to go up. So it's about ending it at its root, which is your habit with food, and being able to get out of the eating disorder. And then you're going to have options in front of you. And then you're going to be able to, get to a healthier and healthier place. And that's the order of things. And if you guys don't agree, try it for another 20 years. Come back 100 pounds heavier, and then we'll go from there. Like, you can believe that fantasy as long as you want of like, oh, okay, well, I've got to lose the weight first. But know that if you wait to lose the weight and keep it off before you fix your problem with food, you will never fix your problem with food. That's the sadness. That is the sadness. But don't commit to that all right now. Don't commit to like, okay, well, I'll never lose the weight. Just put that out of your mind right now. Just focus on fixing your problem with food. And then your body's going to show up and heal after that. Okay, and then Becca's saying, okay, so suppose an aspect of helping retrain your brain to know when you are actually full is the concept of delayed gratification. So delayed gratification is an interesting concept and is pretty well studied in some other areas, but do a real life experiment and see how delayed gratification works with food. Because what delayed gratification usually does is when you say, I can't have something, then you just have a lot more of it later. So delayed gratification is like, I will not have sugar. I will not have sugar till Monday. And then you're going to have, or not to have sugar till Friday. That's a more likely thing to happen. And then look at how much sugar you have on Friday. It's enough sugar to last you the whole week. So delayed gratification is not something that is a tool to be able to rewire your brain with food. It doesn't work. It actually drives up the cravings the more that you try to delay what you're having. So you need to be able to be in a place, not like you have to eat a bunch of sugar, but it's really like the principles that we teach in just week 2 of the clients that we coach and the women who are now free of this is to be able to eat the way that you want, that is healthy for you without going into the place of deprivation that's actually driving up the cravings. So that's a really important piece of it. And, retraining your brain and knowing when you're actually full, you're not going to know when you're actually full until you get the things out of the way that are keeping you from being able to feel your hunger and fullness. It's not like you sit there and you're like, okay, like here are the 5 ways that I'm going to know that I'm actually full. Try it, see if it works. It doesn't work. Because your hunger and fullness get so off when we're in this cycle of disordered eating. So when you know when you're actually full, and we see this all the time with women in our program that are getting free, is that they get surprised by knowing that they're actually full. It's not like a thing that they're trying so hard to do. They're just eating lunch and they're like, whoa, I'm actually full, but I still have another half of my salad. Okay, well, I guess I'll just eat it later for the first time ever. So yeah, like you're going to be able to know when you're actually full, but it's going to be an effortless thing. And it's not a thing like, that's what we get confused as we put the cart before the horse, right? It's like, okay, well, I've got to figure out how to be full and then stop. And I've got to figure out when I'm hungry and only eat then. And I've got to lose all the weight first. And all of a sudden you've got all these barriers in front of you that are actually making the problem worse. So it's as simple as go to lifewithlydia.com/apply, book a free breakthrough session, and then we can walk you step by step through the pattern that's happening for you and let you know where to go from there. So amazing seeing you guys on. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, signing off. Bye, guys.